Hey everyone, welcome to a random corner of my living room. So I'll get right to it. The other day, I was craving ice cream, but I didn't feel like making the short trek to the grocery store or corner store to get some. So I raided my pantry to see if I had stuff to make some. Turns out I did. I had a bunch of coconut milk for some reason and also some coconut cream, and I decided to try my hand at making a coconut milk based chocolate ice cream. I looked for recipes and most of them used like maple syrup or honey or some kind of sweetener that wasn't sugar, but I don't know, I wanted sugar. So I finally found one that used sugar and I kind of adapted it to what I needed, and yeah. Today I'm going to show you guys how I made my coconut milk based chocolate ice cream. I'll leave a link to the original recipe that I adapted down below if you're interested in checking that out. If you can't find coconut cream, that's probably the recipe that would be better to use. So let's get started. You'll need one 19-ounce can of coconut cream, 3 13.5-ounce cans of coconut milk, 2/3 cup of sugar, 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and a splash of vanilla extract. Make sure all of the coconut milk that you're using is full fat or else it won't whip up nicely. The day before you make this ice cream, throw a can of coconut milk and the can of coconut cream into the fridge. Then, we have to make some sweetened condensed coconut milk. Pour a can of coconut milk into a small pot. This is a new can, not the fridge can. If it's a little separated, just whisk it so it comes together. Stir in the 2/3 cup of sugar and bring this mixture to a simmer. Let it simmer gently for about 30 minutes or so, stirring occasionally. I actually kept it going a little bit longer because I've seen some people do this to get more of a dulce de leche kind of result, but instead of darkening up, mine just started to separate, so when that started happening, I took it off the heat before it could separate too much. Pour this condensed coconut milk into a container and let it chill in the fridge. After the cans have been in the fridge at least overnight, then take them out of the fridge, flip them over, and open them from the bottom. They should have separated into thick coconut cream at the now bottom and the watery coconut milk at the now top. Pour out as much of the thin coconut milk as you can. You can save this stuff to make smoothies, or use it to flavor soup, or dipping sauces, or whatever. Scoop the coconut cream into a mixing bowl. So even though one of my cans was coconut cream, I still did the whole chilling and trying to separate it. I wasn't sure if I would get any of the thin, watery coconut milk because it's a can of coconut cream, but actually I got quite a bit of thin coconut milk out of it. More than I thought I was going to anyway. Whip the coconut cream on high speed until it's light and fluffy, about 3 to 4 minutes. Add the chilled condensed coconut milk you made earlier and whip it on high for another 2 to 3 minutes. Sorry I didn't get a shot of me pouring it in. I did that thing where I thought I had stopped recording, and then when I hit the record button to get the action shot of me pouring the condensed milk in, it actually stopped the recording that was currently happening. Well, at least I caught it before I completely finished it. So now that the condensed coconut milk is mixed in, this is pretty much just a blank slate waiting for some flavors. There's still a hint of coconuttiness, so if you're into that, you could just freeze it as is and have a light coconut ice cream. Or if you want it to be really coconutty, you could probably just throw in some coconut flakes or something. But as I mentioned, I'm making chocolate. So I mixed in 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder and a splash of vanilla extract. The amount of flavoring you want may vary. Since I used a big can of coconut cream, I had a lot more of the ice cream base to work with, which means I needed a little bit more cocoa powder, at least for the level of chocolatiness that I wanted. Once that's all mixed in, you just gotta freeze it. I poured mine into an airtight container and stuck it into the freezer. Let it freeze overnight. Yeah, I know that I said initially that I made this because I was being lazy about going to the store to pick some ice cream up, and then here we are 2 days later. But after my initial research, my craving for ice cream turned into a curiosity about whether or not the coconut milk stuff would be any good. So here we are now. Anyway, let it freeze overnight, and then you're ready to enjoy. Well, almost. Since this isn't churned in an ice cream maker, which incorporates air into the mix, therefore making it easier to scoop right out of the freezer, this stuff is pretty dense, so you need to let it thaw on the counter for about like 10 or 15 or so minutes. Here I clearly lost track of time and ended up letting it thaw for too long. It's still good though. Here's a scoop where I didn't let it almost thaw completely, and probably more of what you'd be looking for ice cream. So, I really like how this tastes, surprisingly, because I can be pretty picky when it comes to coconut in dessert. Generally, I don't like it. I think personally I would have liked the texture of it if it was churned in an ice cream maker, but it's certainly not bad just being frozen the way that I made it in this video. I'm still totally going to eat it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. If you like my artwork and you want to buy a print of it, I sell them on Society6 and on InPrint. A link to those will be down below. You can also follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, and Twitch, and a link to those will be down below as well. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you are interested in becoming a patron or learning about what Patreon is, I'll leave a link to mine right up here and you can go check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.